We start with a developing story out of Northeast Albuquerque where two people found dead inside of a home. Take a look. This is a live picture from near Lomas and Carlisle. As you can see, police are still there investigating. They've been there all night long. It's after a woman called 911 saying her parents were fighting. This is at a home on Aliso Drive. Again, it's near Lomas and Carlisle. By the time police got there, they say they found two people inside who were shot to death. Now, investigators are not saying who the two are or how they were shot. But we do know police are not out looking for anyone right now. I'll have updates as we go through the morning and anytime at KRQE.com. Also, big news from yesterday was an electrifying storm, particularly for a car full of people who are driving through New Mexico.
Yeah, in the midst of the downpour, their car was struck by lightning.
It sounded almost like an explosion, like a bomb went off on our car.
Lisa Madera was driving 5 kids and her mother back to Roswell when the lightning hit their car on I-40 near Moriarty. She says she saw bright lights and that it moved her entire car. Then she looked in the rearview mirror and saw another lightning strike. Well, her car quit working and had to be towed. We caught up with her last night and she said she was still in shock.
Right now, I still feel like if I have electricity in me, the hairs on my arms are still standing from the whole situation.
Yeah, that was a frightening situation. Fortunately, everyone in the car was okay. In addition to that lightning, most of the state saw heavy rain yesterday. It caused flooding, shutting down the busy Paseo de Volcan and Rio Rancho during the evening commute. It is now back open, but get ready because Kristen is saying that more rain is expected in much of the state today.
In fact, Kristen, you already have a lot of watches out for this, right?
Yeah, that's right. Flash flood watches in effect. You know, yesterday most of the rain was contained or confined to the west side, and so we saw about close to ½ an inch over in Rio Rancho yesterday. And then we had a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity across the rest of the state, most of the metro area, and kind of that whole as far as the rain is concerned. And today the flash flood watches are going to be south of the metro, where we already picked up some heavy rain. We could add to those totals, but we're going to be looking at the chances for widespread shower and thunderstorm activity. This is what the radar looked like yesterday, and you can see it is pretty widespread. Up in northeast New Mexico, we'd actually see a better chance for some showers up that way, and we're also going to be looking at better chances for some showers and storms in the southeast as well. Of course, all those storms diminished, and what we're left with is just some lingering rain that is starting to taper off, but we're still seeing some downpours in areas. Light rain in Silver City. You get over to Alamogordo and up in the Sacramento Mountains, and you can see moderate to light rain there. Up into the Sacramento Mountains and Roswell, still getting some light rain too. So another active day for us today. I'll have all the details in your forecasts coming up.
A decade after an APS superintendent was killed in a car crash, the man who did it is now out of jail, but he's not supposed to be. A new computer system may have contributed to the goof up, which happened when one drug charge against him was dismissed.
Some employee made a ridiculous error and assumed that meant the whole case was dismissed, and here we are.
All right, Joe Gallegos here is accused of killing a woman with his car last year with vehicular homicide, and a list of other charges still pending. San Juan County Detention Center released him by mistake.
Inherently, individuals, companies, and even government organizations make mistakes from time to time. And as the administrator, I take full responsibility for all matters related to this facility, and I take them seriously.
In 2003, Gallegos was convicted of drunk driving after flipping his car here with his half-brother, Manuel Ruiz, and APS Superintendent Joe Vigil inside. Vigil and Ruiz were both killed in that crash. Gallegos was sentenced to 7 years in prison for that crash. We are told Gallegos has talked with the jail's leaders. He talked to them yesterday and says he will turn himself in today. We'll keep you posted on that. Well, Air Force criminal investigators and Alamogordo police have discovered a large quantity of weapons, ammunition, and other military equipment in a storage shed in Alamogordo. They served a search warrant on the locker this week and found what is estimated to be more than $20,000 worth of military gear. Besides the weapons and the ammo, there was other stuff in there, including a spotting scope. The storage unit was rented by an active duty member of the Air Force stationed at Holloman Air Force Base, and investigators think there may even be more stolen stuff.
Because he's been in several different locations in the United States, and so there's a potential that he has other stuff stored in other locations.
The suspected airman has not been charged or named, but we do know he has been with the Air Force for 16 years now.
A Rio Rancho family is suing the mayor, the city manager, the police, and fire chief for negligence. It's over a 2011 fire that devoured their home. At the time, the family says they called the fire department, then waited and waited while their house burned. The Rio Rancho fire station is about a half a mile or 2 minutes away, but the day the house burned, the station's crew was at a Home Depot job fair giving a presentation, so the Placitas Volunteer Fire Department responded. They came from about 10 miles away. Now, once those firefighters arrived, there was no water pressure in the hydrant. The city of Rio Rancho would not comment on the lawsuit, and the homeowners were not available. Susanna Hu, Governor Martinez has seen her national profile grow in recent months.
And that is leading some people to speculate that she may, let me emphasize here, may run for president in 2016. But there's a new poll out from a key battleground state, and it says that the governor is mostly unknown nationally at this point. News 13's Alex Goldsmith has a story.
We got in the car, and I looked over at Chuck and said, "I'll be damned, we're Republicans."
That line was a big moment in a big speech for Susana Martinez in Tampa last August as she tried to boost Mitt Romney's bid for the White House.
En América, todo es posible.
But even as Martinez has raised her national profile, she has repeatedly denied she's interested in a national job.
Is there just a little bit of interest in running for president in 2016?
Nope, there isn't any interest.
Zero?
Zero. I am very, very focused on New Mexico, and it's a big job, and I think all my energy is in that.
Even if Governor Martinez does have her sights set on Washington in 2016, she's got a lot of work to do. A recent poll from Public Policy Polling in key primary battleground Iowa found just 1% of Republican voters would pick her as the nominee at this point. On top of that, more than 70% didn't have an opinion of her, far higher than any of the other 8 GOP hopefuls listed in the poll. UNM political science professor Gabe Sanchez says it's not surprising.
Even among my polling of Latino voters nationally, she doesn't poll very well in terms of name recognition, even among Latino voters, which people perceive to be her specialty.
Sanchez says the lack of name recognition would hurt Martinez as a national candidate, but adds there's time to change that.
Looking back at recent history, if you looked at the Republican candidates who were polling very early on and the Republican primaries, none of them actually emerged at the end.
That was Alex Goldsmith reporting there. While there was no clear GOP frontrunner for 2016, there is on the Democratic side. I'm sure you've heard polls show Hillary Clinton way ahead of Vice President Joe Biden in key early primary states. Well, Albuquerque Sunport, guess what? It's one of the most expensive airports to fly into. According to cheapflights.com's latest airport affordability index, Sunport is rated 92 out of 101. Ouch. With average airfare of $559. The most expensive airport, this is a no-brainer. It's out of Honolulu with an average of $689. The best deal can be found, surprisingly, out of Long Beach, California. The average to fly in there, just $216.
Yeah.